McKinney Boyd Broncos, their playoff run unfortunately ended in the area round just like McKinney North's did. This time a 27-10 loss to Longview, the District 12 5A champions. I'm joined by McKinney Boyd's head coach Don Drake. And coach, it was a game where you led at halftime. Going to the third quarter, seemed like you were going to be able to have a chance to put Longview away, but right out of the gate, the third quarter, a special teams error seemed to just swing all the momentum to Longview's side.
No doubt. I mean, Longview's a great football team. We knew that. Defensively, they're very fast, very explosive offensively, and I thought our kids played a very solid first half. You know, to take the lead 10-7 going into halftime, knew we were getting the ball to start the second half. Felt like we had the momentum of the game at that point. We just had to be able to continue to make some plays, you know, and unfortunately for us, the special teams mistake that you referred to open the second half kickoff and then followed by a couple of turnovers back-to-back really gave Longview a short field. They were able to capitalize on the short field and those opportunities and take the momentum away from us and ultimately get the win.
Well, let's go ahead and take a look at the highlights from the game. And it started off a little bit slow as both teams' defenses made their presence known early on. Longview drove to start off the game, and they had to limit themselves to a 39-yard field goal attempt, and that was missed. And at that point, you felt good with the defensive stand.
Yeah, I thought our defense played well, really, the majority of the game. You know, you can't give people a short field, as I alluded to in the third quarter, and expect them to hold them out of the end zone over and over again. But I thought defensively we played well, made them have to go execute, and you know, we felt like coming into the football game, if we could not give up the big play and force them to have to execute and move the football, that would be to our advantage, and it turned out that it was.
Chumley only threw for 121 yards for Longview in this game. Your secondary did a great job, especially locking down Dorian Leonard, who was their most potent receiver coming into the game. He only had 2 catches.
Yeah, again, I thought they did a great job. You know, we really talked to the kids a lot coming in to this particular week about not giving up the big play, you know, and I thought our kids did a great job in the secondary of limiting those big play opportunities. I thought we handled the run game pretty well. You know, again, it just, you know, it came down to turnovers from an offensive standpoint and giving them a short field to drive into, and obviously momentum's a big factor, you know, in that emotionally for the kids. So, you know, it's unfortunate, but I thought the kids battled for 4 quarters.
And completely dominated the second quarter, had a 17-play drive that took 7.5 minutes off the clock that you convert a 4th and 6 at their 23 on a 14-yard pass to Slater Brown that ended up setting up what was a Dedrick Scrivens 5-yard touchdown run.
Yeah, ran the option, pitched it out to Dedrick. He got to the corner of the end zone. There you see it right there to tie the score at 7 apiece, which was big, you know. And then we were able to go get a stop and get the ball back and go on another nice drive down there to kick the field goal right before halftime.
Yeah, so you lead 10-7 at the half, and obviously you had the problem with the kickoff starting off in the third quarter where Scrivens wasn't sure if he could kneel it down the end zone for a touchback or if he had to bring it out. Ended up getting trapped at the 1, had to punt against the wind, and that just led to a short field for Longview.
It did, and they were able to capitalize on that and again take some of the momentum away from us at that point in the ball game. Still there, it was 13-10. They missed the extra point or it got blocked, I can't remember, but you know, we're within 3, and you know, there's no panic, you know, as long as we'll just take care of business. And then unfortunately we followed that with several turnovers in a row offensively, and again, I mean, that just gave Longview opportunity to capitalize on those mistakes and build a lead there in the third quarter that we weren't able to overcome.
And that's what we talked about 2 weeks ago, is that if you didn't turn the ball over, very good chance to win this game, but if you turn over, you're not going to be able to win. And you had 4 turnovers in the end, and only caused 1, I believe, and when it was all said and done. And that, I mean, as we've been saying now for a while during this highlights, that was the main difference in the game.
It definitely was. You know, we ended up having a fumble recovery and an interception, I think. Of course, we ended up turning it over with 4, you know, 2 picks and 2 fumbles ourselves. So, you know, we were -2 in the turnover category, and that ended up being the difference in the ball game. It was a nice play there by our safety, recognizing the halfback pass and picking that thing off and giving us the ball back. And, you know, again, we took some shots there in the fourth quarter to try and put ourselves back in position to try and climb back in the game, but, you know, it just wasn't enough to get it done.
Had a good game from your 2 receivers, Slater Brown and Robert Noren, playing their final games each respectively, and it was good to see them being able to catch those balls on the deep patterns from Curtis Ladd, and you needed that going up against Longview that plays the run so well.
No doubt. I mean, we knew we had to be able to throw the football to be able to have a chance to win the game, and I thought we did that pretty well. I thought we mixed the run and the pass very well, particularly early in the ball game. Once we got down 27-10, obviously you've got to throw it a little more and throwing it into some coverage that is not advantageous to you all the time. But some kids were able to make some plays. I thought Curtis delivered some nice balls. Kids made some nice catches, and Slater and Robert that you were talking about, Brandon Bolin that you just saw in the highlight had a great catch there. So, I was just really proud of the kids and the fact that they kept competing for the entire football game.
Obviously, Curtis Ladd, your quarterback, is going to graduate, so you'll have to replace him on offense. But you do get Dedrick Scrivens back, who's a junior, and he currently is the #2 rusher in the area for 5A running backs at 1,745 yards and finished with 25 touchdowns as well. And there's a big gap between him and the next closest currently active player is one of the DeSoto running backs. So Dedrick, #2 rusher in 5A, at least in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, good omen going into next year to get him back.
No, there's no doubt. I mean, he's been a very explosive player for us all season. The fact that we have him back in the backfield is a huge plus. A year ago we were graduating Brian, and everybody wondered what we were going to do in the backfield, and then here comes Dedrick, and he explodes on the scene and did a great job all year. And so it's nice to know that you've got him coming back. Obviously we do have some holes to fill on the offensive side of the ball. The biggest one is probably the quarterback, position. Curtis being a 3-year starter for us, we've got a huge void to fill there, but feel good about some of the young kids that we've got coming up.
And on defense, obviously you lose some numbers on defense. You lose your 2 Brown twin linebackers that have been so effective for you in their playing time here at Boyd, and you lose a couple guys up front as well.
Yeah, we do. Tyler Ferguson graduates, Shea Goodman graduates at nose guard, so we've got two spots to fill in the defensive line. Obviously the Brown twins that you talked about at linebacker, they're our 2 leading tacklers, so I mean we got a lot of tackles we got to replace in there, and then we're losing both corners. Paxton Larson and Kalen Young are both graduating as seniors, had outstanding careers for us. So, we've got several spots to fill on the defensive side as well, but we feel like we've got a good nucleus of kids coming back. Both safeties are back, both outside linebackers. Kyle Seamus will be a 3-year starter in the defensive line. So, got a solid nucleus of kids through the middle there to help us out.
Looking ahead to next year with the reclassification, obviously some 5A schools are moving up to 6A because it's a newly formed classification. Some 4As coming up to 5A. Do you know now where you're going to be at kind of roughly with possibly who you'll play in district next year?
Well, we'll be in 6A. We'll be in the largest classification as we expected all along. As far as what district we'll be in, I have no idea. That'll come out in February. We hope that we'll be right back in the same district we were in for the past 2 years. We're very comfortable being in there with Allen and Plano. It's some great competition. It's some great venues to compete in, and so our kids are very excited about having the opportunity to go back and compete against them again. I mean, that's something that we look forward to. We feel like we came into the year predicted to finish 5th out of 6 teams. We ended up 4-1 in district play and finished in 2nd, to Allen. So, our kids felt good about the year that we had in that district, and we have no issue going back in there and competing again.
And overall, your final impressions on the season, a year in which you went further in the playoffs than you did in the previous season?
Yeah, I thought the kids did a great job. I thought they came to work every day with an attitude of we want to be as good as we can be, and they were very, very coachable. Their work ethic was outstanding. I was very proud of what they were able to accomplish. Again, coming into the season, we were picked to finish 5th in district play. We finished 2nd. We make it to the 2nd round of the playoffs. Kids got 7 wins this year. Against 5 losses, and of our 5 losses, you've got some really good football teams in that L column. So, I thought the kids battled. I thought they did a great job. Obviously, we were disappointed that it ended when it did, but that's the game sometimes. And so, we'll refocus and we'll continue to get better. But I very much appreciate our 24 seniors and the leadership they provided and what they gave to this program over the last 4 years.
They'll certainly be missed, but you have a lot coming back next year. Coach Drake, thanks again for joining us today.
Thank you.
McKinney Boyd Broncos, they finished 7-5 overall for the season, losing in the area round to the District 12 5A champs Longview. And going into next year, not sure who they'll be playing in district, but they'll probably be picked 5th or lower again. They'll probably finish top 2 again. They've been very consistent the last couple of years.